Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Werner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. William D. Morgan. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. Oh, my goodness. A whole slate of NFL action went down. Got a lot to talk about. Also, we got some WNBA. Got some NBA news to talk about also. Man, got a lot coming up on this edition of the Sports Report. But first, I would not be reminisce. I'm not bringing on the person who runs this fine establishment, the person who makes sure the corn dogs and the Cokes get evened out, especially perfectly between all of us. Bring on Josie. Josie, what's up?
All of us. You mean just you and me, right? Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happened. I'm having to run this from my phone tonight, and for some reason, like our intro is missing. Like it is not here, and I don't know why.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I don't know where it's at, but I've got to fix that. So, but I'm excited to be here. I am excited to shit on some Dallas Cowboys today. How you gonna almost lose to a 1-9-1 team?
I mean, I'm gonna let the fellas jump in too. Let's let the fellas jump in on this too. First, let me bring in a man who has forgotten more, who knows more baseball than I will ever know. Bring my man 7-7. What's up?
Oh, you're muted.
You know, I think I am not okay, but we'll get to that in baseball section. How are we going to have Josie come on here talking about you almost lost to the 1-9-1 Texans? This reminds me of that scene in the opening of Fast and Furious. You almost had me. You never had me. You never had me.
You know what? It don't matter.
On Jeff Driscoll. Oh, that's a first ballot Hall of Famer if I ever heard one.
You know what?
Mills? Really?
Damn,
Granny shifting because you can't double clutch.
Granny shifting, not double clutching like you
Not
should.
double clutching like you should.
You know what? It doesn't matter. You know why? Because I got family.
I hated that. I ain't gonna sit here in front. I hated that.
There's the American Dad episode where they find the script to Fast and Furious 8, and literally the whole thing is just Dom and Brian making out and like doing just super gay stuff. Like that's the whole movie.
I mean, maybe the first 2 times is cool, but once you get past the first 2 times, really?
No, okay. This is not the show for that.
That's gonna be for Wednesday.
Yeah, we can talk about that on another really good podcast because I am a diehard fan.
Okay.
I'm a diehard Fast fan, so we'll talk about that Wednesday. Make sure you check us out on Geek News Now Wednesday, a really good podcast, and we'll break down the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yes.
So Mike Winchell from Friday Night Lights, the main quarterback in the movie, the Billy Bob Thornton one, is also in Tokyo Drift. And I think that they're just the same person. And like
who does he play in Drift?
Mike Winchell.
Same guy.
It's Mike. It's the same guy. It's Mike Winchell. Yeah. He's a high school.
Is he his dad?
Who becomes a drifter?
No, that Mike Winchell is the one that plays the quarterback in Friday Night Lights, and he plays the lead guy.
I'm sorry. I only know him as one of the kids from Home Improvement. That's the only place I know that.
Not one of the kids from Home Improvement.
Not one of the kids from Home Improvement.
No.
The guy who drives the car in Tokyo Drift, that is one of the kids from Home Improvement.
That math does not line up at all.
No, not the rich kid. Talking about the main guy, the one that the other one that was in the race, that was actually the main kid that went to Japan after he lost because the rich kid.
The guy who the main character.
Yes,
okay,
that's what it's. How many fucking times
said that a couple times.
You listen like my 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a compliment.
Mike Winchell, he always has like the Southern accent. That's his version of acting, is just having a
yes.
What's crazy? So,
well, the funny thing is he plays the same character on NCIS New Orleans.
Yes,
it's
Southern
the same
guy.
Hold on, though. If for Mike Winchell, I go back even farther. There was a Disney Channel original movie called Flash.
Oh yes. Yes.
That is where I discovered.
Lane, what's up?
Lane, we are talking about Fast and the Furious, okay? Not Denver.
No one wants to talk about Ciara's husband.
No, he has gotten his name back. He lost the privilege of being Ciara's husband.
He did. That was a privilege? I always felt like we were poking fun at him, but yeah, we'll go with that.
I mean, he loses all. He gets nothing. He gets nothing playing as garbage as he's playing. But so let's actually move into sports forever because they can't afford to not let him play.
Yeah, they can't afford to cut him for 3 years. It's great.
Yeah. $150 million contract. They stuck.
That was the only reason why Will's who's going to get benched next to the NFL fucking prediction was just kind of weird, because he's right. That's who should get benched, but that's not who's going to get benched. Like he's
not
got
going to get benched. They can't afford to bench him.
He's got a solid 2 years.
They need to fire the coach. That's what they need to do.
Honestly, I don't blame Hackett. I don't blame Hackett. This is completely Russell Wilson, because that defense is stacked. That defense in Denver
a solid defense.
Stacked.
That's a solid defense. Even without Bradley Chubb, that's still a solid defense.
That is a solid defense. Again, without Bradley Chubb. But and that doesn't happen without Hackett's input. Russell Wilson fell off a fucking cliff. And they need to but one thing that Hackett does need to do is change that scheme to where it is more beneficial to Russell Wilson, because right now you're not getting anything out of Russ that's useful.
How the hell Russell been talking about some let me cook and you burning everything in the damn kitchen?
Denver, the number 4 scoring defense in the NFL. So
number 4 scoring defense was one of the worst
scoring defense. Like no, they give up the 4th least points in the NFL. I'm just confirming your guys' defense is really good.
Defense for real.
That's if they have a middle of the road offense, they are fighting Kansas City for the division right now. And that's my point.
Heck, you get Cortland Sutton and Jared Judy and still look like that every doggone week. Man, Russell, come on, man.
It's Russell. It's Russell. The talent
is there. I mean, all you got to do to know it's Russell is look at Seattle. Look at what Geno is doing in Seattle. And I know y'all aren't big Geno fans, and I'm not saying that it's all Geno, but it shows that any quarterback can step into Seattle's organization and be good. And Geno has had one of his best career years.
But
I ain't gonna say any, but
yeah, I was gonna say, but since Russell Wilson though, because there was no good quarterbacks in Seattle before Russell Wilson.
Right.
No.
John Kitna?
I would say it's Pete Carroll. It's Pete Carroll.
But
Pete Carroll is a great coach.
I guess.
But
I guess
it's fair.
Russ had talent. Russ had talent, but and he still does. But there is, but it's just it wasn't Pete Carroll is what I'm saying. It wasn't all Pete Carroll in Seattle when he was there.
When Seattle was winning, Russ was following the plan. He was staying within the structure. He was following the plan. Run the football, be opportunistic, throwing the football down the field. He was following the plan. When he was doing that, he was winning. The minute this dude decide, hey, let me cook, let me run this, is when everything went to hell in the handbasket.
Yeah. I think it says 2 things. I mean, obviously in Seattle, he was just waiting for Earl Thomas and fucking, Richard Sherman to just make plays on defense too. I mean, fucking dude now doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have that kind of defense. But at the same time, like Russ, like you said, Will, of course, when he wants to take over, it's got to be because of his personality. That's all there is to it. That's all I can fucking see about the whole thing, because Russ has legitimate talent, and like that team is, the offensive line has some things to desire, but like they do have weapons, and it's like it just must be that none of them fucking like him, dude. Like Jerry Judy clearly does not like Russell Wilson. You can see it.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Is it seems like most of the team does not like him.
Richard Sherman went on fucking
like
said he's terrible.
You watch the huddles. You watch the huddles, and it just the players don't rally around him in the huddle.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Jerry Judy was like just screaming at him going off the field last week. And then, I mean, he caught the touchdown pass or whatever, but like still he was pissed because I don't know if he's just not seeing receivers or what.
Yeah, he's not. And that's why I said, and that's why I feel like in the offseason, Hackett needs to sit down with Russ and with the offensive coordinator and the play caller and work on a scheme that plays to Russ's strengths mixed with the strengths of the talent that they've got on that team. Because there is talent on that offense. They need to fix the offensive line. I had a lot of vibes of Kansas City in the Super Bowl when I was watching that. I think I messaged somebody about it. It might have been you, Dan. But that offensive line in Denver is flawed, but they need to fix their scheme because I guarantee you that will fix a lot of it because so many of these problems they have are timing issues.
And don't forget too, Javonte Williams out, Melvin Gordon gone. You dealing
That's
with
the
a
biggest thing.
Yeah.
What did they say on the broadcast yesterday? 26 players on injured reserve in Denver right now.
It's a lot.
Yep.
That's insane.
You know who did play well yesterday, Seven? Orlando Brown. Because he's a fucking.
Hey,
really
Will,
good
can we
left
go
tackle.
ahead and just hit the huddle?
Good one. Yes.
Might as well.
Might as well.
I never know what we're talking about.
That's a good one right there. Orlando Brown.
Or this is.
I
mean,
So
Orlando Brown definitely didn't look as bad yesterday as he did last week. But I'm still out.
you're
I'm
still
still
just
out.
not on the Orlando
Nope.
Brown. I mean,
I'm done.
dude, he's a legit left tackle though, for real. I mean, maybe it is something with his work ethic or something. I have no idea, honestly. But like, it's talent wise, that dude's. I mean, he's 6'8", fucking 350.
This tells you what he thinks of Orlando Brown.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, why is he out there wearing 57? Get a fucking tackle number, like 71 or something.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
He's wearing a fucking guard. He's wearing a fucking guard number.
He's wearing a guard
here's
number
my
for
thing.
crying out loud.
With Orlando Brown,
Turnstiles.
he has had a lot of opportunities to get this right, and there is some talent there.
Someone talk about it, man, like here, elementary kids. Elementary school.
But the thing of it is, with Orlando Brown, talent-wise, Kansas City needs a more talented left tackle. You can't have a 10th to 15th ranked tackle protecting the blind side of Patrick Mahomes. You've got to have at least top 7.
I'm arguing with you that he is a top 5 left tackle in the NFL. He's absolutely, dude. Talent-wise, that dude is
4 Dan Sorensen.
Dude, that is talent-wise. Talent-wise.
Oh,
legitimately
I'm
fifth.
telling you, we need to come up with a Dan Sorensen shirt.
Guys, Darren
We
Sorensen
can.
doesn't play tackle. He plays all of defense. He plays the best fucking safety that's ever been in the league.
No, he don't.
He plays
Stop
white
lying for that
Eli
man.
Apple.
It's like Ed Reed, Dan Sorensen, just
Stop lying for that man.
right there.
Who he
You
covering?
need to-
That man
Yeah,
can't
you need
cover
to
You
tell
me.
realize you realize Ed Reed is now hunting you down, right?
That
No,
man
me
can't cover
and
me.
Ed are boys.
That man
Oh,
can't
yeah.
cover me.
Yeah, Dan, you need to tell your dealer to change the mixture because that crack. that
Hell
he's selling
yeah.
I bet
has
none of you dudes would say that to Dan Sorensen's face.
I would.
I would look.
I
I would
would.
find the fucking
I
steps
would.
to
I
look
got every
him
right to
square
do
in
it.
the
I'm a
goddamn
Saints fan.
eyes.
I got every right to
If
do it.
nobody else is gonna see it, you guys are in a fucking locked room with Dan Sorensen. You're saying that shit to his face.
I will
I'm
clap
about
all
the same. I'm about the same
Gladly
size
say
as
it
Dan
to his
Sorensen,
face. What you gonna do?
so I'm not that afraid of him.
Fucking liars.
What
liars.
you gonna do? Nothing.
That dude is juicing like a motherfucker. Dude, he'll snap your head off. It's right there.
Man.
I don't know, man.
If you get angry because someone looks you in the eye and tells you you suck at your job, that's your problem.
It's really because, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but he's obviously going to get pissed about it. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't he? I mean, you would.
I don't know. I would appreciate, like, if I suck at my job and somebody's like, hey, look, you suck at your job. Thank you for telling me. How can I get better? Now, when he asked me that, I'm going to be like, bro, we don't have time for that. I've got notebooks at home. Maybe you should go talk to a couple of your defensive coordinators. They probably have a list somewhere.
I mean, but bro, how many insurance agents are there above you in the all-time insurance
Well,
rankings?
you and I
Like, as
could just
insurance
leave and
agents,
let them go.
Most
We
of
can just
them.
leave and let them run it.
right?
Most of them.
So like,
Most of them.
no, I'm not saying most of them. I'm saying like very few.
No,
of them
I'm
are, but
saying
there's still
most of them.
thousands. But there's still thousands of them. There was only like 30 guys at one point,
Thousands.
apparently, that were better than Dan Sorensen, right? I mean, so he's up there at the top of his fucking profession for sure. That's why I think he would get pissed about it, because I would. If
All right, can we move on from Dan Sorensen?
All right, let me go. Let me do this because I need a moment to gloat. I need a moment to gloat. I need a moment to laugh. I need a moment to have fun. The San Francisco 49ers defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 35-7. Tom Brady, bruh.
Tampa is still going to clinch their division right now at 6-8.
Yep.
That thing over.
Because they're in literally the worst division in football other than the AFC South.
The minute it could be Dallas, it could be Philly. Hell, it could be Minnesota. They done.
Tell you what,
you think they go out wild card? You think they go out wild card?
Oh, they're gonna be a division winner, but I just think
the first game.
Yeah,
done.
But they'll still have to play a wild card game.
That defense looked terrible.
They will lose that wild card game the way they're playing.
That defense, they will lose that wild card game. That defense looked terrible yesterday.
Can we say that Brady is not the caliber that he is usually this time of year yet?
Nope.
Can we say that Brady is?
Wait till the playoffs start.
And here's the thing. I was just getting ready to say this. Even though I am the self-proclaimed Purdy mouth, the spokesperson for the Brock Purdy fan club, Tom Brady is still Tom fucking Brady. And right now, think about this, guys, with the fact that it's looking like the Bucs are going to clinch their division and finish the season with a losing record. How much of a chip do you think it would put on Tom Brady's shoulders to cruise through the playoffs and win the Super Bowl after having a losing season? Do you know how much joy he would get? Skip Bayless would probably explode.
But here's the thing, though.
Hang on. Is it possible that was Brady's plan all along? Because think about it. He's done everything.
No, he ain't playing, man.
I'm not saying. Hang on. Let me finish. Think about it. He's done everything in football there is, basically. He has every record, done everything. But no one has ever taken a losing team to the playoffs and went all the way. I'm just saying. Was there a point in the season he's like, huh?
I just think the reason why I think that's kind of far-fetched is because he couldn't have seen how bad his offensive line was.
I'm not saying at the beginning of the season. I'm saying he looked at mid-season.
He couldn't have seen how bad they can't run the football. You can't see how bad that secondary is playing. If he knew all that and still doing this, I got you. But I don't think he knew that.
Well, and obviously, Josie, I like your conspiracy, but at the same time, everybody in the NFL is way too good to be having plans. You don't have plans. You just have to play as hard as you can and as well as you can. And if you win, you win. And sometimes you just have shitty seasons. Tom Brady's 45 years old. Yeah,
and I will always have a conspiracy when it comes to Tom. I will always have a conspiracy theory when it comes to Tom Brady. I will always have a conspiracy.
That's how Josie do it.
Deflategate, man.
Hey, yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah, because that was
deflated balls.
That 42-point difference in that game was those deflated balls by a fucking couple ounces. Fantastic.
Bausch. Hey, 7. Hold up now. I thought you said you like Davis Mills. Switch ship on me?
Oh, that was last week.
We declared last week.
We declared
last week.
No one likes Davis Mills here anymore.
I like Davis Mills.
Okay.
We've moved on from Davis Mills. I am the Purdy mouth, the spokesperson for the Brock Purdy fan club.
I've been working on this shirt. We just crossed out Davis Mills and put Brock Purdy.
That
exactly, Chris.
Bitch, 1 week.
Exactly, Chris.
Yep, that's Chris. That's exactly what we're saying. Oh, and on the Lions, what Chris said about the Lions, how can anybody not be buying on Detroit right now? Dan Campbell is working fucking magic.
They 6-7, but they're playing well though. They're playing well.
If you watched Hard Knocks,
did they beat the Vikings Sunday?
Yeah, 34-23.
Dude, if you've watched Hard Knocks and watched Dan Campbell operate, you can't help but love that dude. He is
absolutely.
He is. I think he's one of my favorite. I think he is my favorite coach of the NFL, just because from watching Hard Knocks and seeing him as an actual dude. He's hilarious for one, and he's actually a really fucking good leader. He's Hulk Hogan, the comedian that comes in and talks to the team. He calls him the Hulk Hogan, a coach. He's always like, "What's up, brother?" And he's like, "It really is," because he's fucking
he does
so jacked up all the time.
He does.
Hey, yes, a couple of things. last night we finally got our answer. Who's better out of Justin Herbert and Tua? We got that answer last night. Herbert lit it up last night. He lit it up last night.
My Chargers
over 300 yards passing. Man, he was brilliant last night.
I've seen too much out of Tua this season. Now I know that Tua is. I still have criticisms about Tua's arm strength. But the deep ball is getting better and better for Tua.
Yeah.
The things that Tua has overcome this season.
Exactly, and that's my point. I think last night was more a bad game for Miami, and the Chargers fighting for their playoff life at this point.
Yep.
Because Miami knows Miami knows they're in the playoffs. They're fine. They let their guard down a little bit, but the Chargers are fighting to have a prayer to make the playoffs right now. So right now we are getting playoff Justin Herbert, and that's not an easy animal to beat.
Nope.
He made that throw to Keenan Allen last night, and Keenan Allen was surprised that he caught it. He literally just like put his arms out and he threw it so hard that he was surprised he got it. Did you guys see this? And they both like at the same time pointed back at each other. Dude, that is one of the craziest throws I've ever seen. That was to the hash, outside the hash mark from the other side. And he threw this thing like 75 miles an hour. Not a joke. And Keenan Allen like literally was like, whoa, because there was a dude with a hand right in there. And I was like, wow, dude, his pocket accuracy is unreal. And like
right in the breadbasket, beautiful placement on that.
He is playing extremely well right now. Extremely well. Another quarterback that's been playing very, very well, and it looks like he might get back to the Super Bowl is Joe Burrow. They played
Burrow in Cincinnati made the Browns look like bitches last night.
And go back and look at one thing, fellas. Go back and look at one
thing. The Browns beat themselves in that game.
And go back and look at one thing. That Cincinnati defense has held Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb in check. That's impressive. Mm-hmm. That's impressive.
They've won 5 straight.
You guys know who the Bengals head coach is? Zach Taylor.
I do, and
Zach Taylor is his name. Do you know where Zach Taylor went to college?
I know where he went to college. You know
Nebraska.
Here we go.
Oh, Nebraska, baby.
Nebraska.
Ooh, Nebraska. Mike Tomlin. Come on.
Yeah.
Tomlin's gonna have a losing season finally, Josie, so we can get Tomlin up there in Lincoln.
Yep.
Good.
All right, now can I say it? I want to say this. I realize the Cowboys won. I do. And I am not giving them shit to the fact that they beat a 1-9-1 team. But it is the fact, what I'm giving them shit about is that it took up to 45 seconds for them to get that win. I am a Texans fan, diehard, true and through, but I know that this season is a bust. We are getting the number 1 pick. That Heisman winner is probably coming to Houston. I had put in my head that this game yesterday was going to be a domination from the Cowboys, just probably 40-7.
The NFL.
And the fact that they, to one of the absolute worst teams in the league, and don't get me wrong, Dan, we were talking about it before the show. That was probably one of the best games Houston's played all season.
That was the best game Houston's played all season.
That's what that was that game right there was their Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even better than the one game they did win.
And it's an in-state rival too.
Dallas isn't really a rivalry for us because it doesn't happen that often. The game, we only play them in the regular season like once every 5 years.
I would say that's gonna get more frequent with the added games. Just saying.
Well, just like
they always keep it like that because we're AFC, they're NFC, so we don't play very often. Usually it's postseason or preseason,
right?
But it is just the sheer fact that, our entire team is garbage right now. We have no offensive line, we have no defensive line, we have no quarterback. The best thing about our entire team right now is that we have a good coaching staff that just has got garbage to work with. I
feel like,
and I just
Josie, I feel like a little bit that you underestimate just the depth of the NFL too, like the just of talent, dude. Like you can go out and lose every week. I mean, obviously you see that like games are just always close every week, and that's what makes the NFL awesome. Like that's why people like it, is because a lot of games go down to the end.
Yes,
and it's really because they're so evenly matched, dude. Even when teams are bad, they're so evenly matched because they're like that's the best of the best.
Not necessarily. When a team is losing every week, you don't expect them to go out and lose and win to any team.
Well, but look at Denver. How many times this season was Denver's loss less than 7 points? But the Lions have had the same issue. The Lions,
Houston's had that same issue too.
Right,
they've gotten blown out though.
But right,
not every one of them though. So a lot of those losses have been by 7 points.
You're making my point for me, Jesse.
And I'm not saying that not any team can go out and win any week. I get that. I agree with you. There would have been no part of me that thought that this game was going to be that close. And again, I give my boys their props. They played the best game they played all season. But Dallas showed a lot of weak points in that game that a better team would have manipulated and been way up on.
If that's anybody else, I don't think that you're talking about them though, because I think that Dallas is obviously going to get anything that they do even partially wrong, even when they win, is going to get picked apart. I mean, I'm not a Dallas fan, but like at the same time, like people hate the Cowboys, bro.
We all know Dallas got a problem with stopping the run. We all know that.
Yeah.
And Houston's got no run game. No run game.
Well, Dameon Pierce got off for a little bit yesterday. So shout out to Dameon Pierce.
But that was the first time he went off all season. That's my point. Like, that's the point. Is like none of what I had seen all season told me that they were going to play like that this game. Honestly, if I could have picked, last week would have been the game that I played like that against Deshaun. That's the game that we wanted. That.
Can't really choose though.
Yeah.
I just think they thought the Dallas I think they probably hate the Cowboys too. Obviously, it's like in-state rival and everything, and they probably just got up for it, dude. For real, they were all just like into it.
Yep.
And it was just close because it's that evenly matched. I mean, yeah, fucking obviously.
I get all that.
Pierce pretty good game, 22 for 78, touchdown, 3.5 yards, average yards per game. So he had a decent game yesterday.
Quick update on Monday Night Football. New England Patriots just got a scoop and score off of a DeAndre Hopkins fumble. To make it 19-13. Haven't kicked the extra point yet. Cardinals looking rough. Kyler Murray was hurt on the third play of the game, is out for the rest of the game. That looks to me like an ACL. I think Kyler's done for the season.
My God, boys. The Patriots just won me fantasy this week.
He wasn't listening, Seven.
Just won me.
Let me guess. You have their defense?
Yes.
You have their okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so that whole thing I just said about the scoop and score.
Yes, that helped. That's why I went and looked. That's why I went and looked.
Conversation, bro.
No, against me.
Because you said that, I was like, wait. Yeah, no, I needed that. I was hoping they'd have a great game.
Keegan Michael Key is on the Peyton cast right now of Monday Night Football, talking about the fucking hip, the hip thing, the 1-2 thing. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and find videos on that because that's got to be interesting, especially Keegan with Peyton and Eli. That's got to be funny.
Every time I look at the screen, I can't hear them, but they're just all laughing. Every time I look at the screen, they're all just laughing. Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. Like those guys are awesome. I like Eli Manning. I used to make fun of Eli Manning because I thought that he just only could do he was an idiot savant, or and he could only do football.
They sold that really well, though.
They did.
And let people believe that he was an idiot savant. I'm not saying he's a member. He could be a member of Mensa, but Eli Manning is not as dumb as everybody thought he was.
No, he's really not.
Yeah.
All right. Before we move on off of football, Lane had said it, and I want to get it because we're getting to that point. So right now, we're coming into week 14. Regular season's only got 4 more weeks left. Who's your Super Bowl picks?
This is rough. Go ahead, Will.
You mean regular season and playoffs?
I'm not talking about. I'm just talking
Just
about
Super
regular
Bowl.
season. Playoffs is a different animal.
Oh,
Oh,
we talking about just regular season pick. Gotcha.
But I want your Super Bowl picks of
yeah, he's
what's it looking like right now.
Philly's looking
is there
good.
is there a regular season Super Bowl that I don't know about?
That's what I'm saying.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean,
I didn't know if
if
Wayne, did you-
if I'm looking at it today and I'm looking at everything being even, you got to. The Eagles are hard not to pick.
Do they make
Really?
it through all the way through though? Do they make it all the way? Like that's my thought too. Is like I'm thinking
Right
Eagles,
now, yeah.
It's
In the NFC, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a problem not picking the Eagles. I don't.
I mean, I'm just looking at everything as it. I'm looking at the offense. I'm looking at the defense. They're
Mhm.
running the football. They can stop the run. They can play the pass really well. Hurts is
quarterback.
playing out of his mind right now. Miles Sanders is playing well. Boston Scott's playing well. Come out the backfield. The coaching is solid. Special teams is solid. They doing it. And I think the only team that can really put a pin in what they're doing, and I hate to say it, is the Cowboys. But the way Philly run the ball, I don't think that's going to be an issue. So in the NFC, I got to go with Philly.
The only question mark I have is obviously with Philly is Jalen Hurts has never. I mean, he's 0-1 in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He had a decent game. I'm actually looking at the numbers right now. Actually, well, it wasn't really that good of a game. It's 60 overall rating, so that's his one playoff game. I don't know if he's proven at all. Like, what has Jalen Hurts done?
I think that the reason why Philly is the right choice comes down to two things. First of all, they have earned their 12-1. Like there's times like we look at the Vikings. The Vikings are a team that you look at the Vikings at, what are they, 10-3 right now?
10-3.
Yeah.
Vikings are 10-3, but there is
Lost
not a
yesterday.
single person that knows football that is looking at the Vikings and thinks that they are a Super Bowl team. Not a single
They
person.
choke too easily. They choke too easily.
And
Kirk
so
Cousins.
when you look at
And
what the
and
Eagles
better,
are doing,
Kirk Cousins chokes too easily.
they are, when you look at, because the Eagles' journey through the playoffs is through NFC opponents. And right now, there is not an opponent in the NFC that's going to be able to knock them off of the path that they're on. They are, like in that we've talked about with the NBA in the 90s, how stacked the Eastern Conference was versus the Western Conference, and the fact that it was kind of just a path that was going to lead them there eventually anyway for the Bulls for most of their 6 championships. I'm not saying all, because I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but most of them it was a pretty clear path. That's the path that the Eagles are on this year. Barring something catastrophic or some huge burst, I think the only way the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl is if they actually start beating themselves.
And I think another thing that kind of gets me as well is the trust factor. And what I mean by that, you trust Dak?
No.
I don't think
Nope.
Tom Brady's. I don't think
I trust Tom Brady.
I don't think Tom Brady's the same Tom Brady. If he was, that'd be a different story. But I don't think he's the same. I don't
still
trust
think they go
Geno
out
in
wild
that
card.
situation. Definitely don't trust Kirk Cousins. Don't trust Daniel Jones. Heineke, nope. I just think Hurts is the best, has established that with that team. Dallas has shown too many times that they crumble in the playoffs.
It's like I said,
Dallas.
it's like
The thing about Dallas, and we've said, sorry, 7, but the thing about Dallas, and we've said this many, many times, is the QB is interchangeable in Dallas. The fact that you won 4 games with Cooper Rush, it doesn't matter. The QB makes very little difference in Dallas. It's the defense and the run game that makes a difference in Dallas.
Which, yeah, go ahead, Seven.
Well, what I was going to say was, it's like I said, was it last week or the week before? When we talk about, we were talking about comparing Jalen Hurts to Lamar Jackson. Right now, when you look at these two teams, who do you think is going to win a Super Bowl first? Philadelphia or Baltimore? And right now, it's Philadelphia without question. And I know that Baltimore is an AFC team, but when
I see what you're saying.
Philly is built the right way. That line was the first thing that started it off. Quarterback, you got him weapons. And we didn't even talk about Dallas Goedert. He's on his way back from injury. So you're getting another weapon back from injury when the playoffs hit. So
Will, I have a question though. In today's NFL, do you think that kind of strategy still works? Because we've seen it over and over that quarterbacks win Super Bowls. I mean, it really has been. That's been the last 5 years of the NFL. So like in today's NFL, does the run game play defense thing work anymore? Like, I don't think it does. I think the run game now is the pass game now is like the run game in the 90s with the.
I think Jalen can do enough. I think he can do enough within that offense to get you through. That's a good defense. That's a hell of a good defense.
Okay,
defense can keep him in some games.
Because we got to be moving on off of football. Hang on. Who's y'all's AFC pick?
My AFC pick would be Kansas City. I just don't see anybody else who can. I don't see anybody else outside of Cincinnati. If they don't meet Cincinnati, it's Kansas City.
Well, and the thing about Cincy is, like we talked last week, Seven, Joe Burrow is Pat Mahomes' kryptonite. At least right now.
What I don't want to see is honestly, I want to face the Bengals before the AFC Championship. I don't want that again.
Yeah.
But honestly, right now, I think it's the Bills.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
I know that, and I hate to say that as a Chiefs fan, but right now, I think that we're going to see the Bills really start to light up because the Bills right now are coasting for the playoffs because they know they're going to the postseason. Right? They're the number one seed in the AFC right now, so the Bills aren't worried. I think they're worried. They're not worried, and you're going to get to the postseason. You're going to see Josh Allen.
Well, we all know what happens. I was going to say we all know what happens to Josh Allen in the playoffs.
Exactly,
he plays well. And then he gets beat not getting fucking possessions.
And that's the thing is Josh Allen is gonna when people underestimate
and Saquon for that matter.
People underestimate
that connection.
Josh Allen and what he's going to want to prove this year in the postseason because of how the season ended last year. Like we're gonna see Josh Allen turn on another level when the postseason starts. I guarantee it.
Man, I wish Saquon would. I wish Saquon did play for the Bills.
I tell you, I would be okay. I would be okay with a Philly Chiefs Super Bowl. I'd be all right with that.
Josie, you just maybe look at the Bills roster and make sure that Saquon wasn't on it.
Yeah, he don't.
No, he's still the Giants.
I was like, what?
Right
They're
now,
definitely going
to not Saquon. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Give me a break.
I wouldn't mind seeing that though.
You're just a cop. You're bad with names. I'm just kidding.
But I wouldn't mind seeing that though.
I'm not a cop.
I know it was a joke.
Saquon Barkley running on that offense with
how much weed I smoke. That makes
crazy.
Me being a cop and the reason I can't remember names. But
yes,
but man, that'd be awesome to see because they need a consistent running game. Singletary, you got some burst out of James Cook and he did nothing yesterday. So they need a burst at that running game. Somebody, Singleton, Nyheim Hines, James, somebody. I mean, Singletary has been steady Eddie, but they need some explosiveness out that backfield.
Bro, Josh Allen went. Go ahead. Yeah, Josh Allen went straight fucking Superman again.
Connection there
last week. Like, Josh Allen is. I've seen players that are ready to break through. Josh Allen is ready to. This is going to be the year probably. I think he's at least going to make it to a Super Bowl. That's my AFC pick for sure. Because dude,
I gotta say, I called a ring and a possible MVP first game of the season.
Yeah, So I called MVP. I don't know about a ring, but
he's not going to get MVP.
They're 10-3.
Right. He's not going to get MVP.
They're 10-3 right now.
I don't think it's going to go to a quarterback this year, honestly.
No, it will. It will. Right now it's going to go to Jalen Hurts.
And every year
till Jalen Hurts.
right now, and it was Patrick Mahomes' award to lose, but he threw 3 fucking interceptions yesterday. So Jalen Hurts
He threw 3
right
interceptions?
now.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are so good that they can make 3 interceptions just disappear. Basically, it was like they never happened.
Basically.
Almost. Pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Well, what are we moving to next?
And they got 14 points off of them too. So yeah, it's
Let's go ahead and talk your segment.
Okay, someone been deleting things because Dan's intro is missing too.
I didn't delete anything.
Someone been messing with stuff.
The only thing I did was put parentheses 1, parentheses 2 behind some of them to do my order when I'm producing. That's all I did.
You're good. There's just a couple of things I can add them back. It's just like your intro is missing. So,
but I want to go.
Are we going into the hardwood?
I want to go ahead and move into the hardwood real quick because I got some questions.
Nope. Yeah, hardwood intro's down there. Oh wait, no, that's the pod intro. That's a pod intro. Sorry.
Can we do baseball real quick?
Yeah, let's do. We can do baseball first, and then we can bring you in.
I want to be the best in the game. Invest in my name. Check no restraints. I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain. Assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
Man, 7 this week, y'all. Boy, I have never seen 7 so upset. Bruh.
They're looking at the bottom of that division.
You were mad. And I don't blame you.
I'm still mad. How do you, as the goddamn Boston Red Sox, let go of Xander fucking Bogaerts? You went from second in the division to bottom of the division because you couldn't pull your head out of your ass and get your goddamn wallet out of your pocket. It's fucking ridiculous. Now you're going to lose Rafael Devers because he's going to drag his price so far fucking up because of how you fucked the team. And we're not going to have a goddamn thing for 5 years. So, John Henry, go fuck yourself.
Somebody clip this. Somebody clip this.
That's the clip. That is the reel of the week right there.
That's the clip of the week.
That's real genuine anger. It's real genuine anger, ladies and gentlemen.
Real genuine anger.
What was the final deal and who did he sign with?
11 years, $285 million with the San Diego Padres is what he said.
God,
dude, nobody's paying that.
My only hope.
What's that breakdown?
Like 27 a year.
That's 27, 26 million a year.
Just over 25.
11 years, though.
Crazy.
11 years.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, 11 years.
The glimmer of hope that has come out of this for me is that because of the fact that they grabbed Xander Bogaerts, this means Fernando Tatis is going to be on the market.
On the market, yeah.
And I hope to God they can grab him because everybody's like, oh, Trevor Story. You guys got Trevor Story. Just moving back to short. Trevor Story is a shitty shortstop. Sorry. He had one of the bottom-ranked arms as a shortstop in the league. 56 out of 62 ranked shortstops he had. It was where his arm ranked. He is great at second base. He is perfect for second base. We need a shortstop. We need a good shortstop because it's not Trevor Story.
Defensively, though, 7, you know that Fernando Tatis is terrible. He's terrible defensively, too. He's literally like 2016 Trevor Story when Trevor Story was with the Rockies. That's what he is.
Damn.
No, that Trevor Story was awesome in 2016. Amazing. He won MVP.
He was.
So, like,
but here's, honestly, I want Dansby Swanson. Like, if I could pick anybody, if John Henry called me, he was like, I saw you having an aneurysm on the show. Who do you want us to go get? We'll go get it. I would be like, go get Dansby Swanson. Don't overpay for Carlos Correa because that Xander Bogaerts contract shot Carlos Correa's price up. It did. There is talk that Carlos Correa's deal will be over $400 million.
That's what he okay. I will say that's what he was wanting last year. That's what he was wanting last year.
And he's not worth $400 million.
No, especially not after the season he had in Minnesota.
If we weren't overpaying for Correa, I would love to have him in Boston. I think Alex Cora and he would get on really well. They like each other. So I think that would be a good fit, but not at the expense of overpaying him. That's why I'm more partial to Dansby Swanson.
7, but you got to be realistic. Like, nobody's getting 11 years.
Oh, no. The Padres overpaid for Xander Bogaerts.
Way overpaid.
11-year deal. Who wants a 41-year-old shortstop? The Savannah Bananas? Don't get me wrong. I love the Bananas, but that's not a pro-level shortstop. They're going to be, they're going to have ended him and just be paying him money for not playing.
Right.
And that's going to be it.
4 years, dude. In like 4 or 5 years, probably.
I'll give him 6. I'll give him 6.
Max, right?
Yeah.
Max, though. And $285 million, dude. Nobody thought fucking Xander Bogaerts was going to get that. And so they just, I don't think you can blame Boston management as much as you are. You know what I'm saying?
No, here's the thing. If they would have made a better offer last season, before last season started, I understand there was the lockout and all this shit. I get that. But they shouldn't have happened because this is the second generational talent in 5 years that they have let walk.
Right.
For nothing.
And
got
nothing out of it. And now we're looking at losing Rafi Devers after the 2023 season. And we're going to lose a third one. And there is not another talent right now that Boston can grab.
Well,
even if Boston, as a counter to losing Rafi Devers, grabs Shohei. Even if Boston grabs Shohei, it's not going to happen. Like, they have to figure out a way to bring in enough talent to bring Rafi Devers' anger with the organization down so that hopefully they get a better price. Because it's right now is a tipping point. And I don't blame Chaim Bloom completely. Chaim Bloom is a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong. But this is the ownership not wanting to pony up the required money. There. It's not like it's not there. Hey, what's up, Gene? It's not like it's on the table. They just don't want it on that side of the table anymore. And I don't know. And I'm not happy about it.
Do you think they're doing like undercover rebuild? You know
I don't know how undercover it is.
I think they're trying to force themselves into a complete rebuild.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think, I mean, that might be strategy, honestly, from up top. It might be like, all right, we're going to make it look like we fought for these guys and like we're going to pay all these guys and then we just don't. But that's how we start our rebuild is like, like by making it look like you're still trying. Does that make sense? Like, I think that's what they're doing right now, honestly. And just financially and everything, like, because they kind of needed a wipe, didn't they? If I'm not wrong.
Well, but they've gotten through. There was a minute there, and I think it was one of the reasons why they didn't do the Mookie Betts deal was because of money that they needed to finish getting off the books. And so I understand that part as much as it sucks. Mookie is easier to make peace with than what happened here. This shouldn't have been a problem. They should have signed a deal with him last year for 8 years. If they would have done an 8 to a 10-year deal last year, it would not have been as bad as this.
Dude, would have been like $180 million probably. 160. So like you're like
10 years, 10 years, $200 million.
Right.
Xander Bogaerts is about.
You said 8 though. Right, if you did an 8 though, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or even 8 years.
160.
160, 180, 200. I'd go 8 years, 200.
Way less. Yeah.
8 years, 200. Front it. Yeah, why not?
They just weren't going to go 285.
Any other news? No. Any other news in baseball this week? 7. And I feel like free agency signings kind of slowed down this week.
Winter meetings wrapped up wrapped up last week. There was a couple of signings. The Blue Jays signed Chris Bassett today, 3 years, $63 million contract, and also the Braves, Athletics, and Brewers made a three-way trade. Sean Murphy, the A's catcher, has been traded to the Braves. The Braves sent catcher Manny Pena to the A's and catcher William Contreras to the Milwaukee Brewers. Oakland.
What's up with your Braves, Will?
That ain't my team.
The Mets are your team. I always think you're a Braves fan because you live near Atlanta.
The Braves have been making a move to get Sean Murphy for a minute. They wanted him. It's a good move. They needed a better catcher, and Sean Murphy is a huge upgrade for them. And he gets out of that fucking poverty, broken-ass organization in Oakland. I'm happy for the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oakland is about to lose their Oakland is about to lose their baseball team. It's about to happen.
They're going to Las Vegas.
1991. Wouldn't
But
better.
really, with the way the Warriors are rolling, would it really hit them that hard?
No,
It's
they don't. I don't
different.
think they really like me. I don't think they like
And
the
it
A's.
really, yeah.
Oakland has had one of the lowest attendance in baseball for like the last 5 years.
I don't think
Like
baseball
they haven't even gotten close to a sellout for a non anything in years.
They played on a half fucking football field.
Yeah,
for a while. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like that's not good. That's not a good start. Like
the only reason they lasted this long as they did is because of Moneyball and what happened there, and they got close.
Right.
But
The thing for me is there is the A's organization. They're going to end up in Las Vegas. Like that's going to happen. But that organization has been taking advantage of the community of Oakland for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you had 2 fans have sex in the stands last season.
That was the most action that stadium has
the game.
seen in years.
It had to.
I mean,
it had to come. It had to come down to that.
It wasn't the Commanders organization.
Damn.
You know, if they really want to get some activity going in that stadium, they should have Dan Snyder buy the A's after he has to sell the Commanders.
Good news for the A's. They were trying to sell tickets and somebody came. Did you pitch? There we go. Yay. Hey, LeBron, by the way.
Free agency,
hey, Josie, I ain't give it to him this time.
I have to work it. Oh, I'll work it.
Yeah.
You
got to make him work for it.
The Mets made a huge splash with a $75 million deal for Kodai Senga, a Japanese prospect that has done very, very well. And then the Mets also gave Brandon Nimmo a $162 million deal to return to New York. Will, how did you feel about Nimmo getting that deal? I was going to ask about that.
I like the player, but I don't like the money.
Well, you never like the money.
I never
as a fan.
I like the player. Player's a decent player. I just don't like the money. I just don't like that contract. Because it hems you up for what you can do later. I don't like that money at all.
Sounds like Xander Bogaerts money to me. It's about what Xander should have got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like Seven's so mad at Boston's management. He's so mad.
He's all right. He's not the guy to be paying all that money to.
I'm mad at Boston for it getting to this point. I understand that the money that the Padres paid Xander Bogaerts was more than Boston was willing to pay.
Yes.
The Padres also offered a hell of a lot more than the Yankees signed Judge for, as did the Giants.
Not a hell of a lot more, but it was one extra year. But I mean, yes.
But you can at least see,
make it
but
$400
at
million.
least save face for the fans because we're going for.
I gotta say that surprised me.
Yeah,
like I mean, but one of the other things that people forget about the Padres is everybody is like, oh, a small market team. First of all, there's no such thing as a small market team, but I'll get to that. The Padres are not a small market team. They are the 8th largest city in the country.
Yeah.
They had the fifth largest attendance in Major League Baseball in 2022. They've been on a steady incline for the last 5 years because of all the tech money that's in the area.
They are not the San Antonio Spurs.
No, not even slightly.
Not even close.
Do you think a lot of that has to do though, like us thinking that they're a small market because of their fans like passionate about because their fans are not at all passionate. I feel like a lot, like we've talked about this, like a lot of people who are showing up those Padres games are like tech people who are literally taking out like clients and stuff. Like it looks like a fucking business meeting in those. Seriously, it does.
They have a quieter fan base, but here's the thing. I don't think it's a bad thing that they have a quieter fan base simply because that money, because of the way that the revenue sharing works in Major League Baseball, ultimately, that is a consistent selling ballpark that is making sure that money stays in baseball.
But that's almost like watching pro wrestling in Japan. You just can't make no noise.
Right.
Yep.
It's getting better. It's
I
getting
know, I'm just
better.
kidding.
I thought the
I'm just
root
kidding.
word of fan was fanatic, Seven. I thought you were supposed to be fanatical about your team.
Yes.
Well, fan is the root of fanatic.
I just
had
saw
that
you
backwards.
scream about the Red Sox 10 minutes ago. That's
Right.
what I'm talking about.
That's the clip of the week right there.
In San Diego, they don't scream because they're in San Diego, so they can just go to the beach and calm down. I live in Satan's butthole, also known as Phoenix, Arizona. I don't have a beach to go. Like, there's sand, there's no water on the other side of it leading
And
to a
in
big
Boston-
fucking ocean that I could just disappear into.
In Boston, they have to live in Boston.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
I would be. I mean, in Boston, there's a lot of things to be angry about in Boston, but if you direct it at your baseball team, it's less of a felony.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on over to the hardwood. Dan, what you got?
Oh, my intro's not on here anymore, is it?
No,
That's usually
No,
like my,
someone
it's usually like my
deleted your
cue.
intro.
It's usually like my cue. Well, they were being malicious. Those motherfuckers. No, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about?
Nothing. Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, Will.
Okay.
See, guys, I open my segment up to everybody else so that you can come and join my world. All right. See how that works, Josie?
I do open my segment up. You just don't understand my world.
Oh, I talk in your segment every time because I am trying to figure it out, aren't I? Yeah. No,
I'm telling you, the only way you're going to figure it out is sit down and watch a month of a program. I'm telling you.
I'm never going to do that. I don't think. I'm just being realistic. Like I don't think I have the attention.
And I understand that, but that's what makes a wrestling fan.
I know. I understand. I was a huge wrestling fan in the 90s for real. And that's what everybody talks about. It's like that old school shit, isn't it? Like you guys were saying like all the fucking podcasts now are just like about old school style stuff, isn't it?
There's two types of wrestling podcasts. There's the ones that try and hark in on the nostalgia and talk about all the past stuff. And then there's just recap shows, really.
Okay. Yeah. So like not real, like about new things.
Yeah.
And that's got to be on fucking the guys who are running fucking the wrestling, right? I mean,
yep.
Isn't it?
That's why Fight Night's different.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you guys are trying to do like the whole like current events, which is like what you should do because that's what every other fucking sport that gets covered does.
We like to, and we try to. We do a little bit of both. Ours is a hybrid, so we talk about highlights and what we've seen in the week, but we do not recap an entire show. Rarely do we do that unless it's a special pay-per-view or something like that. We'll talk about things that caught our eye and that we liked that week, and we'll talk about wrestlers that caught our eye or that we liked about that week, and then we usually have a main topic that we can dip into nostalgia. Last week we talked about entrance music. This week we're talking about Royal Rumble because it is almost Rumble season, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll get into wrestling in a minute. Let's talk about basketball.
So Zion Williamson at the end of the game the other night, I don't know who saw this or not. They were up like 8. I mean, I think everyone saw it, hopefully in the highlights, but like Zion goes up and does just one of the nastiest 360 windmills you'll ever see in your life out of a 6'8", 300-pound guy. But they're up 8 points.
How much do you think
they were playing the Suns?
He got yelled at for that shit.
Not at all. Not one bit. Nope. You let Zion Williamson do Zion Williamson all motherfucking day is what you do.
Yep.
And who's fighting him, by the way? Were there guys actually trying to fight him? Because I bet there wasn't. Like, good luck with that fucking dude.
That was all just a big pissing contest. And
it was.
As a Suns fan, I will say this. Zion Williamson had a score to settle because he had to sit on the sidelines last year and watch Phoenix knock out his team.
Yep.
Phoenix understood it. The players, chest pumping and all of that for a second after because they had to, because they just got postered and they weren't even down there to get it to experience the picture.
Ostracized.
But Zion Williamson earned the right to put that windmill down.
He did.
While rocketing in his team into first place in the West.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The New Orleans Pelicans, are number 1 in the Western Conference. And that is like Like, I feel like their name actually like kind of fucks them over a little bit. Like everyone's like,
oh, it definitely does. It is like the Commanders in football.
Yeah, like what are we supposed to do with that?
Do you think that's gonna hold up though?
What?
I think that they are talented as
I'm not saying that they're not a good team. I'm not saying they're not talented, but do you think them leading that conference is gonna hold up though?
I don't think they'll win the West. No.
But
I think it's going to come down to what Dan's been saying. I think it's going to come down to what Dan's been saying all season is these teams that are having to go all out right now just to stay relevant are going to burn out. And then you got the teams that are kind of been playing smart ball that they're gonna pick up.
Well, you're correct, Josie, but like it's when that jump is made from being that team that has to go hard at the beginning of the season, like the a la the Utah Jazz, who are just young and like don't have any experience. They're going hard because they don't know any, like they're actually like fighting for a job at that point, right? Has it changed with the New Orleans Pelicans where those guys are solidified?
That was going to be my next question to you.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all solidified now, man. Like they ain't going nowhere. Like Brandon Ingram is a dog. He's a stud. Obviously Zion is the weirdest, like multi-dimensional type player of. It's so strange to watch him play because you don't know. Like that's Karl Malone on like springs, basically. Like that's what that is.
I've always said that the way basketball is now, where players rotate, like there's not really people that play just one position now.
Right.
But rarely do you see
everything's hybrid.
Yeah, but rarely do you see a guy like Zion who can play every freaking position on the court and play it well.
Play them all well is really the kicker there, because like most dudes just can't guard the polar opposite of their position. Yeah, they can't guard the polar opposite of their position. Like point guards usually can't guard. Like no one's guarding. Basically, no point guard in the NBA outside maybe Ben Simmons sometimes could guard Joel Embiid, right?
Yeah.
But like Zion can guard Joel Embiid, like because he's got all the different dimensions. He's got the quickness, he's got the speed, but he's 6'6". I think he's about 6'6", 6'7". Actually, he's a little shorter.
Yeah, you can shoot over the top of him.
300 pounds, just a solid brick shit house.
The insanity that you said a 6'6" man is quick is just that right there. That is an oxymoron. That should not.
It's not just that he's quick.
I think it's more if he's 300 pounds.
300 pounds, yeah.
I think rather than
that added into that too. Jordan was too. Like Jordan, it's the same thing. Will, it's the same thing we say with guys like Keith Lee. Like they shouldn't be able to move the way they move. Like it's just it really breaks the laws of science and gravity.
LeBron James.
But
I worked it in.
That's
a perfect work in, Will.
I think what Zion that makes him incredible. Yeah, he's 6'6", 6'7". You've seen 6'6", 6'7" be successful. What makes him so amazing is the fact he's over 300. That lateral quickness, that twitch that he has. He can get up. He can jump. He can jump on command. He's just an amazing athlete. And
quick off his feet.
I don't think it's so much the height, because hell, Jordan was 6'6", Kobe 6'5".
It's not the height.
I don't think it's the height, but it's just the overall athleticism for a man his size that you don't really expect. Same thing back in the day. Same thing with Charles. You didn't expect Charles Barkley over 300 pounds to be what he was, but Charles was amazing, man. So I think it's just his size and the way he moves on the court that just makes it incredible.
It's a perfect segue, Will, into the next guy I want to talk about, and that's Joel Embiid, who had 53, 18, and 8 the other night. He also had 53, 18, or 21 something and 11 in a game earlier this year. So he's the only guy to have 2 50 plus point games this year. That guy, and like we were talking about the positionless basketball, he is the fucking perfect NBA center for today. Like he is the perfect, because you want to see a guy who's huge and nimble of foot. Holy shit. Joel Embiid is 7'3", dude. He is 7'3" inches tall, and he weighs over 300 pounds too. And just, he looks like he's a little bit slower than everybody else, but like just a little bit. And that's the weird thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the 7'3" guys usually look massively slower than the rest of the field, like the rest of the court. And Joel's just slowed down just a tiny bit, which tells you how he is very, very athletic. And like He shoots fucking fadeaways and shit. Shoots fadeaways, shoots threes, shooting over 38% from three.
Look, I love my boy. Everybody know I love my boy Jokic. Everybody know I love my boy Jokic. But when Embiid is on, like he was the other night, that's the best center in basketball.
He's unstoppable.
To his advantage too,
basketball.
He's the focal point of what the Philadelphia 76ers do on both ends of the floor, especially on offense. They run everything through that dude when he's on the floor. It's like if he doesn't touch the ball, they're getting yelled at. So like he needs to touch the ball in every possession.
You get Harden and Maxey to come along with him, man.
Right. Harden is. I was hoping it wasn't. I wasn't gonna have to say it, but like Harden is a shell of himself.
Yeah.
Harden is a real shell of himself now. I don't know what happened. It could have just been like literally he just wasn't working as hard as he was, when he was 26, and it just caught up with him real quick because he's in his early 30s. I have no idea, but he is not. I don't know. He looks scared almost. It's very strange.
I think Harden needs to be done. This is my thing. I think and y'all will anyway, but correct me if I'm wrong. Was he really that great coming out of Houston ever?
Oh, nice.
Well, he's coming.
Was there really an amazing Harden that ever came out of Houston?
Well, you had flashes,
and I would say,
Brooklyn, but not really.
You got a flash of it, but I would honestly, I think having to carry a franchise for so long fucked with his head.
Well,
and literally, he never looked as good to me as he did in some of the years in Houston, outside of Houston.
Josie, I'm going to show you.
I will say probably.
Go ahead.
I will say you see flashes of it in Brooklyn, but that's about it.
Well, to me, we're up here doubting the man and putting him in the grave, but the guy's averaging 22
really
points a game and 10 assists.
Guys, this is coming from a dude who averaged 32, but still.
I mean, I'm just saying he ain't dead yet.
No, he's not.
He may not be what he was.
And then I think that's what Josie's saying. He's not what he was.
Yeah, it's not what he was.
And Josie, you lived in Houston at the time he was there, right?
Yeah, he was in. Josh was in Houston at that time.
Did you not know that James Harden liked whiskey and pussy? You didn't get that memo?
I did not actually know. I was not living in Houston. I was in
James
Texas,
Harden,
but I was not living in Houston.
That beard loves him some muff, bro. That thing probably just smells like it all the time.
I do have friends still that live in Houston, and they tell me all the time that there is not like one single strip club he has not been into in that city or in the outskirts.
I believe.
And mind you, they're only in Harris County. There's no strip clubs outside of Harris County. All the counties around them don't have them.
Yeah, I think it might be the situation where, when you were younger and your parents caught you smoking and they made you smoke the whole pack. I think that James Harden didn't get to smoke a whole lot when he was younger, and now he's smoking the whole pack. Does that make sense?
I would just like to see him.
He is, yeah.
I would just like to see him recommit himself, because right now he's not what he was in OKC.
He's never going. He's made his money. He's happy with that pussy.
But I would love to see him recommit himself, because like I said, right now, him being the shell himself is at 22 and 10. 22 points and 10 assists a game.
I mean, it's crazy how talented the dude is, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, ball handler wise, he's obviously very experienced. Yeah, he's experienced. He kind of created the new version of like a shooting point guard, like a hybrid.
Yeah.
Steph Curry also did at the same time. Like they basically were like just all scoring guards. It was like they were point guards, but they also were the leading scorer, which is a weird kind of, it takes a shooter and it takes a dude who can handle the fucking ball for real. Like, I mean, obviously the ISO stuff with James Harden, he's probably the best ISO player to ever live, but like, isn't that, that's not a good, I wouldn't call that an absolutely good thing because that slows offenses down. Josie, you saw that.
Change the rules to that Euro step. He had to change that too.
Yeah. The flip the ball and then take 1-2 and then a jump stop. It's like a 1-2 jump stop, and it makes it impossible to guard. Like you can't just move without the ball like that. And like it is a Euro step, but like you have to hit at the same time. That's one of the fundamentals of it. They didn't catch that for like, I'm glad you mentioned that. Well, they didn't catch that for like fucking was like 6 or 7 years.
In
He was
6,
doing
7
that.
years, they ain't catch it.
With
And
Harden?
he don't step, and that's it.
Getting fucking fouled on 3-pointers like it was his fucking job, because he would do jab step, 1-2 step, and then you take that second step as hard as you can backward. So like it's impossible. Like you really can't figure it out. And like and the guys are jumping into him. Fucking, he's getting 3 free throws all the time, and he just went nuts. He averaged like 36 points a game one year. Like that's up there, bro. For like today's NBA.
That was the year that they were talking about him for MVP. That was the year.
I would say he was in the top 5 voting for that for MVP that year, wasn't he?
He ended up winning an MVP. I think he ended up winning an MVP like 2019 or something. 2018.
I mean, he's won one, but that year in question that you're talking about.
I know that year in question he was top 5, but
he won one eventually because he was in like the top. He was in the top there for a while because I mean, and people were just like, I don't know if he plays enough defense because he doesn't. And
he
like
doesn't.
that
and I will say, as like I would say, if he were to retire over tenure, I think he's got most time in Houston at this point. But like he invented the flop almost. Like he is probably one of the most.
Nah, you can't get at to him. That goes to Vlade.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. How about Pele? How about Pele?
King of the flop.
There's about 80 to 100,000 soccer players in South America.
We have had the discussion.
James Harden.
I mean, we've had the discussion that it definitely came from soccer, but in basketball itself, James Harden definitely up there with.
He's up there, but it was Vlade, man.
He advanced the flop a little bit. He was good at it. I mean, he wasn't even top 5 in the NBA though. I think LeBron is clearly the best one.
He the best.
Definitely.
He the best.
Really the best.
Definitely.
I mean, go back and look at it. LeBron got whole YouTube videos about him flopping.
Really quickly, this is how I defend LeBron on that. He is so bad at it because people know that he's not hurt. Like people know that that's not hurting him. So like it makes it so much worse that we just know he's just lying to us. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's just
no. What makes it so bad? No. What makes it so bad when the other players look at him after it happens, they be looking like,
and he's
really, bro.
He's not the greatest actor. We all saw Space Jam 2. So I mean, we all saw Space Jam 2. So he's not the greatest actor. So you just tell he's lying to us basically, and that's why it's a big thing. What the fuck is going on right now?
I have no idea.
What in the world was that?
I like it.
I thought that was one of your friends, Dan.
It's not.
It is. He wants to get a cigarette. He wants a hit of your cigarette.
Oh, I thought he was like telling me to smoke it. Is that what you thought too, Josie?
I thought he was too.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. It seems a little weirder that way. I get what you're saying now.
CP, people, please. Okay.
CP-ther.
Walmart Trailer Plaza. Let's go.
CP3.
Suns have stumbled over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and I'm not happy about it, man. They need to make a move. I think they need to go ahead and move off of Jay Crowder and fix that.
Calm down, Red Sox fan. Calm down, Red Sox fan. They're going to be there at the end. It's.
I know they're going to be there at the end, but they need to. I'm kind of done with Chris Paul. So if they can get something with getting him out of there, just let Devin Booker run the team now. Get rid of Chris Paul and Jay Crowder. And you know what? Let's do this. What do you say to this, Mr. Lakers fan? Let's send Jay Crowder. Let's send Jay Crowder and Chris Paul to the Lakers for LeBron. What do you think?
Great deal for the Suns. Great fucking deal for the Suns. Absolutely. If you're a Suns fan, you love that deal. If you're a Suns fan, you absolutely love that deal. You're taking that all day. I mean, clearly. Like, let's be. I mean,
hold up, though. Hold up, though.
Wait. Can I make that deal with Rocket players?
Can I play devil's advocate for a second? But until he got hurt, you saw some of the best basketball play from Anthony Davis when LeBron James was not in the lineup. So you can actually send Bron to Phoenix, get Crowder, get Paul,
and realistically,
Like,
at least a
what,
couple
8
of
draft
do
picks?
it. You can
The-
do it.
You're all the
You
way
can't
up
do
to
that,
2036, the 2036 first and second.
You can't do that, man.
They're gonna set some record for
Listen,
fucking picks.
You can't
Well,
do
no.
that, man.
I had on After Dark, which runs Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. That
Dun, 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 dun.
I actually made a case to Dan. Was it this last week that Phoenix should trade for LeBron, with LeBron understanding that they want him to come off the bench?
I think it was like 2 weeks ago, but yeah, yes. I mean, we basically came to the conclusion that that's a great idea, but not going to happen.
You still give him 25 minutes a game, but he's a part of your second team.
But the way,
But if you only use him 20, think about how much more production you can get out of LeBron. If his entire job is now, you're going to play 25 minutes a game, so that when Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are on the floor, we don't lose the game.
It's like Anton Jameson on steroids, basically. You guys remember Anton Jameson? It's just the sixth man dude. Just
you do strong enough that you get you a sixth man of the year award, just to add to his resume, just to piss off all of the Jordan stands, which would make me happy for no reason, because I don't even have a dog in the fight. I don't give a shit. I just think it's funny when I piss off one side or the other.
7. That would be my start to every LeBron Jordan argument. After that would be LeBron's got the sixth man of the year, dude. I mean, that pretty much settles it. Just and be completely serious about it. Just like, he came off the bench, bro, and was the best player in the NBA.
Could you imagine?
Just with a straight face.
Jordan fans like, but yeah, because he had to come off the bench. Yeah, sixth man.
Defensive player of the year.
Jordan could never get sixth man of the year.
Why doesn't defensive player of the year work anymore? Because we have sixth man. Oh
hey,
my God.
So real quick, do you have any more news you want to get out there, Dan?
I did. Jay Crowder is like LeBron James if he didn't pick up a basketball until he was 27. That's Jay Crowder. That's what Jay Crowder's like.
I can do Jay like that.
Sometimes it looks like he wonders whether he's playing football or basketball.
Why you gonna do Jay like that?
25. I'll go as old as 25.
I ain't going to 27.
After high school.
Is a stretch. 25.
Yeah,
25.
25.
I like Jay Crowder, honestly. He's got a
25.
great shot. And honestly, one of the biggest beasts in the NBA, dude. And like he was on my top 10 scariest guys in the NBA list. Because I feel like he would just fucking throw down in the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I would not want to fight that guy.
Yeah, just enforcer.
I'm sad I am sad that Phoenix wasn't able to patch things up with him and make it work to where he would want to be there. But I understand he's got to make the decisions best for him. So I mean, I like him.
Right. Well, I did just have a last thing.
Sure, go ahead.
The Orlando Magic are freakishly talented. If you guys check out an Orlando Magic game, just watch one for like a second. They don't have to watch the whole thing. They're just super young. I'm like they're very fun to watch just because they're like, it's like a culmination of all what's in the NBA now, talent wise, but like, they're just, none of them have any idea what they're doing. So it's actually like, it's a very, it's like a car wreck sort of thing. It is entertaining though. But, and then fucking shout out to Cleveland, dude, the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a fucking baller now, dude. He's in the top tiers. He's rocketed himself into those top 2 tiers, I would say. He's probably top 10 in the NBA.
He's so much happier in Cleveland.
And they're well coached too.
Yep.
Right. And it's just a change of scenery. I mean, I feel like Rudy Gobert is not great for like dribble penetrating guards or any offensive players, really. It's fucked up to say, but like, I feel like if Rudy Gobert's not so good on defense, Rudy Gobert doesn't play in the NBA.
If you have a spread offense and you shoot a bunch of threes or mid-range jumpers, yeah, I can see it. But
I mean, I understand there's defensive specialists and stuff and rebounders. Like, he's huge. He rebounds. He plays really good defense. I get, like, that's a good thing to have. I'm not saying
if it was 1980,
he just clogs up the lane. He does so many weird things on offense.
If it was the 80s or 90s, he would fit right in.
Oh, stud.
But not now.
Yeah.
What about this? What if you put Rudy Gobert as the 5 on the Nets?
He just does weird stuff. He's so big, dude, like, and he doesn't move real well.
It still hurts you because Kyrie and Kevin have no room to move at that point.
But what I'm saying is you put him as the 5 for the defense, like,
purposes.
Here's the deal: unless there's some shit going down, why don't you just stay in the fucking corner? Don't stand in the lane unless we tell you to.
Right.
But you can't simultaneously.
Unless KD or Kyrie, signals you inside. stay in the corner, and then when it comes back on D, run your big ass to the other side of the court and make shit happen.
Right.
Right.
But then essentially you're playing 4-on-5 on offense all the time because the only thing that Rudy Gobert does well on offense is offensive rebounds. So you can't simultaneously ask him to stay out of the lane and the offensive. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't ask him to crash the offensive boards when he's.
But you know, it's not that you need him to stay out of the lane. You just want him at that mid range so that when the shot goes up, he can bust in and get the rebound.
He might work in Golden State.
Well,
they don't do too much dribble penetration in Golden State.
Yeah, their fives are usually pretty traditional fives.
Yeah.
He's a traditional five.
He's a traditional five. And he might work in Golden State. And he might work in Golden State because of all the free-flowing jumpers they got going on out there. So
him and Luke Longley, Him and Luke Longley. Prototypical fucking fives.
Listen, we ain't putting down Luke Longley. That man got rings. Come on now.
The reason I said the Nets comes down to the fact that they need some actual defense on that roster if they're going to be competitive. And so if you put Rudy Gobert in there and utilize him, that at least starts to compensate a little for the fact that Kyrie plays defense as well as he likes juice. I'm just saying.
Right. Hypothetically, that's great. And unfortunately for like Minnesota, they're not getting rid of Rudy Gobert anytime soon. Like, unfortunately for them.
I just can't see it. Like I said, a jump shooting team, he'll work.
Yeah,
because he can get the long rebounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then just have him play defense. But like that if you're having somebody play one side of the floor and not play the other side of the floor, that's a liability in the NBA today. Yeah. You have to be able to play both sides of the floor. That's all there is to it. Like, you got to be able to guard guys that aren't fucking 7 feet tall. Like at least one of them, like 6'9" guy. Give me something.
Yep.
But yeah, he blocks shots. He's fucking huge. I get it. Like he's a tower at the rim. And that's a good thing to have because obviously dribble penetrators, obviously that's their biggest weakness is a guy who's just going to come challenge you at the rim. But I'm not sure how much Rudy Gobert challenges anymore as much as, kind of just lays back. And like, he's basically just putting his hand up at this point because he's so huge.
Back in the cut.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And
he's just like, needs to do.
But if he's down there moving his feet and stuff, he picks up a ton of fouls, a ton of shooting fouls now because he's not going up and challenging guys. And it's just because he's getting older, honestly. Like his feet are huge. So he's like Yao Ming. He's got like 118 bones in his foot, and they're all like the size of a lighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they all fucking.
Yao has a more offensive game.
Just fucking things are just shifting around in there on top of that 350 pounds of weight that you have on top of you because you're 9 foot tall. Like, good God, man.
9 by 12 by 8.
It's how all their careers end. Look at him. Greg Oden, huge feet. Yao Ming, huge feet. Bryant Reeves, huge feet. DeAndre Ayton in 2 years, huge feet.
Huge feet.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
True story.
Huge feet.
All right, real quick, gang. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and move on over to Josie's Fight Night segment. Josie, what you got?
Anybody else think it's weird that Josie's segment is there without a problem, but Dan's stuff is missing?
Fuck you.
No comment. Real quick.
Our whole start
no
intro
comment.
Is missing.
No comment. Real quick. The New England Patriots are beating the Arizona Cardinals 27-13. We got 37 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter.
It's over.
Yeah.
Adam Schefter tweeted that Kyler has to have MRI tomorrow, but it doesn't look good. Kyler Murray ACL.
Oh no!
They sit him the rest of the year. Obviously,
yeah, he's done.
They probably should have anyway.
You done?
All right. So for my segment, since I went last and I got a little bit of time before Will shoots us off, so he can go to bed.
Yeah, he has dates at night.
Brother got work.
He's got to work, son, with dates.
Well, if this does go over and you need to go, you can bounce. I will say that.
All
right.
Women.
Okay.
He's working them women.
He took the Deuce Bigelow relationship class and started a business.
I can see that look in your eyes.
I'm going to open this up because Dan says I don't. And I was thinking about it, and I don't have a whole lot I wanted to talk about. So, Dan, any question you have on the topic of pro wrestling for me or Will, anything whatsoever, because
yeah, just give me a second because I'm a little dumbfounded that I just got asked a question during the segment. So hang on. Usually I
knew he was going to say that.
No. I do Like, okay, do you guys actually think that the WWE or any professional wrestling is on the uptick or is it on the downtick? That's my question for you guys. Realistically, if you guys are being honest, the whole system, I guess we could break it down into different,
I think my
factions.
issue with
I would say that. Oh no! You know what? Will, you go first.
Don't give me fucking lukewarm either.
It's about level to me. I don't think anything's up or anything's down. It's about middle of the road, at least in my opinion. AEW has issues, WB has issues as well. Same thing with Impact. You do get some bright spots here and there. I example MJF being champion. You do get some high spots here and there that make you go, wow, great. But for the most part, it's everything ho hum. And particularly in WWE product is very stale. AEW's product is a whole lot better right now. But I just think that not anything out there is better than the other for the most part. It's all even kill.
Like the professional wrestling can have a lot of deficiencies though, right? But like being stale is not one of them.
No.
Like if anything, you have to be exciting, correct? Like that's if
like
anything, just be exciting and be bad. You know what I'm saying?
Like Josie was saying, when Josie watches NXT, Josie don't feel nothing other than the Kid Lions. Josie ain't feeling NXT.
Go ahead, Seven.
What I was gonna say is, I think that and it, like WWE and AEW, I happen to agree with Will. They are relatively flat right now, but I also think that wrestling as a whole is gaining a lot of ground because of social media, and it's much easier to get content out there and get paid for content. You don't have to be in a 20,000 seat arena to get paid to wrestle anymore. You can just have a really good YouTube channel.
So
so I think that the industry is going up, but AEW and WWE right now are just kind of floating on the top of it, not really pushing the level yet.
Fair enough.
So Seven kind of really said what I was going to say in the fact that as far as TV ratings, I think we've gotten to the highest we're going to see for a lot of these shows. AEW breaks 1 million every once in a while. Raw and SmackDown stay right where they're at about 2.5 million. And the thing is with that is because it's going into different markets. All of these companies, it's harder to measure ratings, one, because all these companies have some kind of streaming service. I don't watch mine through cable. So there's so many other ways to find it. You can stay and follow storylines of an entire company and never watch an episode.
Well, I remember that we talked about this though, because it's almost like music listening. Because people can choose what they want to listen to. They get pigeonholed into just listening to that kind of music. When if it's just nationally televised and that's what you get, then it feels more collective, as like everybody's sticking with one central theme. Correct?
Yes. And as much as I would, you are 100% correct on that. As much as I would love to see another Monday Night Wars Attitude Era, when wrestling was at its peak. I mean, Raw and Nitro were doing 3 and 4 million numbers on Monday nights with football.
So you think like just solidifying that into like bringing it back into what, 2 shows?
But the problem is neither company.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen. The one is they couldn't get away with what they were getting away with back then on TV. Two, it was organic. It just happened. It was 2 rich guys going at it. And especially now with McMahon not in charge, it will never happen like that again. And especially with the fact, like, with the way WWE's broken up now, where Stephanie runs the business side and Hunter runs the creative, it wouldn't work to the same way that it did.
And I don't think either company has the stomach for it, to be honest with you. I don't
No,
think either
not at all.
company does.
Not at all.
They'd rather have what they've got
Right.
than
Yeah,
risk
the
everything.
If
by
WWE was willing to go that route,
They like being able to throw their little quips.
If WWE was willing to go that route, they would have dropped this fan-friendly act a long time ago.
It's almost like when it went from WWE Entertainment from Federation. That was when like the mindset changed into like it is entertainment. It's just going to be strictly entertainment. It's not actually, like
when they started pandering to me. When they started pandering more to the kids than to the adults.
Yes,
that's when it got me.
Yes, because this is the thing. What made that happen is John Cena looked in the crowd. He saw a bunch of kids, and there are kids at wrestling shows. But if you look at the ratings, the biggest ratings are 18 to 30-year-olds. That's the highest ratings in wrestling.
Right.
If you really look at a crowd, you're gonna see more adults than you do kids. Well, not looking at a WWE show. And again, there's a big difference. Even though they look the same and the style is the same, there is a huge difference between sports entertainment and pro wrestling.
Yep.
It's just different. It's not the same. And WWE is sports entertainment. And that's why everybody who goes to WWE has to go through some kind of getting ready, whether it be NXT or doing some dark matches or whatever. Very rarely do you get guys like AJ Styles who can just walk out there and go. I know we got to get out of here. Or Will's throwing a dip if we don't end this soon. But I did want to say there.
Go ahead.
What were you saying, Dan?
I was just saying there's a whole get them media ready type,
Not just that. Not only that, but you also have to wrestle that style too. And that's what they go down to NXT to learn how to do is wrestle that particular style. If you look at an AEW match and a WWE match, you see the styles are totally different.
And WWE is more less violent, or is it like
no, it's just there is a certain style that WWE wrestles. There's just it's a very camera friendly, because you got to remember
poppy.
It's more showmanship.
It's very pop. Thank you. It's very pop culture.
Yep.
Like even their promos are done a very certain way. They want you to promo. That's why they have promo classes at the Performance Center, which is what they call. Which is why they call their training facility a performance center.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. So when they changed the name, it was like that changed the whole mindset, like to entertainment and not any longer like an actual wrestling league.
If you go look at Impact, or if you go even look at some indie leagues like MLW, they're knocking the hell out of each other. But when you go look at WWE, nope.
Even AEW, just go watch AEW compared to WWE. It's way different.
Completely different style. Completely different.
Just the style. Don't look at the way it's sold to you or anything else. Just look at the way the two guys in the ring wrestle. It's completely different.
Yep.
I have one more question. Two more questions.
Sure.
Do you guys think that wrestling is actually a sport? No, I'm just kidding. No. Wrestling's not fake. No, but it's not fake.
It's predetermined, dang it.
Best finishing move of all
I
time.
could have this argument all day long.
Best finishing move of all time.
I could too.
Oh.
I'm gonna let you go first on that, Josie.
God damn you. Seven, I'm putting you on the spot. Seven, I'm putting you on the spot.
I know my move already.
I've got to go with the people's elbow.
I mean, it's the most
for me.
showy.
For me, it's either the people's elbow, or I can't remember what it was called, but when Mankind would get out Mr. Sacco, I think it was
Mandible Claw.
Mr. Sacco.
Mandible Claw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mandible Claw. Those would be those two would be for me, because like the Rock and Sock connection, that's literally what brought me into wrestling. I was I was so captivated by it. I don't know why. It was a fat guy and a black guy that were just really cool. But
everybody was.
It was that for me was my my starting point. So that's what I would be drawn to is the people's elbow and mandible claw.
Interesting.
Now was my favorite two, RKO and the DDT.
RKO is awesome.
RKO is
That's a good
awesome,
one.
yeah.
So I have two, and mine is probably the spear. And actually, if I don't, see, this is the thing. It's my favorite is probably Edge.
Yeah,
Edge
did so well with that spear. Oh
yes, in the fact that he could hit it from anywhere, like the RKO will, it could come out of nowhere with the spear.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, also I've got to say the clothesline from hell. It's the only thing from John Bradshaw Layfield that I like because it was so brutal looking. He would literally make guys do backflips. You can't
stand Bradshaw,
I can't stand him, but you know I love that move. You know I respect the man for that clothesline from hell. And then I also got to give props to Darby Allin and the coffin drop, just for the sheer risk he puts his body through. Because what that is, Dan, is he just from the top rope just goes stiff and falls back first onto whatever.
Okay.
And it's insane to watch.
Honorable mention really quick before Dan goes. Honorable mention to Taker's chokeslam.
Oh, definitely. His tombstone was amazing.
Yeah.
Honorable mention from me is the torture rap from Les Luke.
Torture rap. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. That's classic.
Torture rap.
That was a great one.
Mine definitely
Dan,
is probably.
Did you have one back in the...
Yeah, I would say like the Diamond Cutter is one of my favorites of all time.
DDP, yeah.
Yep. And then what was the I actually don't remember it. He the dude he picks you up like he's gonna do a scoop slam, right? And does like the DDT scoop slam where he like falls down. You know what I'm talking about? It was like Juventud Guerrero or something. Remember that? He did like some kind of like it was like a scoop slam, but like he like piled like he did like a DDT like between his legs. You know what I'm talking about? Like he went down and like like he picked you up like anyway, I can't remember the name of that. But I was gonna say fucking Tombstone too. Kane's one where he fucking does the what is it? He like lifts him up. He like has him up there and like lifts him up over his head. Is that Kane's Undertaker's brothers finishing move? Well, he would put him up. Yeah, he would like I don't know. He like put him up and then he would put him up higher and like do like a whole. He like basically put him over his head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they'd be like facing him. You know what I'm talking about? No. Anyway, yeah, I didn't know the name of those last two, but yeah, those would be. Right. And then obviously the Stinger Splash is my honorable mention.
I mean, Stinger Splash is just because of who does it is an amazing move.
The baseball bat from
greatest of all time, right there. Greatest of all time.
The goat.
So I think this is going to be my new idea for this segment, Dan, because I want you to get into wrestling. So now on, I'm just going to let you ask whatever wrestling question you want to ask.
Hold on. I'm not knocking you saying that he's great. I ain't knocking that.
Yeah,
and the man got the resume to do it. But in your opinion, we're going to have to retouch. We got to revisit that. So you say Sting is the greatest of all time.
I thought you were going to let that slip.
I literally, I have to say, I think there is more than one first.
Can be.
Because in wrestling, it's different. There is generational goats because of the way wrestling there is. Because of wrestling, the way wrestling evolves with each era, it's never the same.
It's not goats.
We're gonna have to.
We'll discuss this. We'll rediscuss it.
Maybe
that would be maybe that's the topic tomorrow night.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to revisit this thing because I said nothing against Sting, fantastic athlete, great resume. I ain't trying to knock you, but
done a lot for the industry.
Been a great ambassador.
That's all the
greatest of all
that's
time.
That's what plays into it for me.
We'll talk about that later.
Will, take how you feel about Sting and him not being the greatest of all time and apply that to Michael Jordan. And that is how I feel about it. Like, so just imagine that rage that built up in you when he said that. Just touched your lungs a little bit.
That's going to be the new segment. I did want to throw this out. We're going to be talking about this tomorrow night. There's a lot of rumors surrounding Sasha Banks with possibly signing to AEW. She is going to be appearing at Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom.
She's going to be. appearing at New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 17, which is huge, which is meaning she is definitely not signed with WWE anymore. She was seen at a Lakers game with Jade Cargill this weekend. And so there is discussion that she's possibly signed, and this might be a spoiler of a soon-to-come debut. And Winter is Coming is Wednesday, and they like to do big debuts at Winter is Coming. So
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there.
Will we see Sasha Banks?
We'll see what happens there.
So make sure you check out Fight Night tomorrow night. Me, Will, Stacks. I think maybe Kill will be joining us. So make sure you join us to talk about all of this wrestling juice. And there was a ton of pay-per-views this weekend we got to talk about. So
yes.
7. Tony, do you want the obscure piece of baseball memorabilia for the week?
Sure. What do you got?
So y'all keep talking. I'm going to start running the buffer and shit.
All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us here on the Sports Report Podcast. We
Is
do
that an
appreciate
Expos jersey?
Al Fitzmaurice Royals.
That's Fitzmaurice jersey.
Oh, that's an old. Okay, Royals. I was like that cover. I
Signed.
didn't recognize the cover.
And real quick, thank you guys for joining us here on the Sports
Signed
Report
by him.
Podcast. We'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. You guys have a good week.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.